Alright guys, got another video. This one is about this replet here we're going to work on. They changed a little bit of stuff in REPL, so we're going to look and see what they changed. If you click this, it's going to take you to a page that has the assignment that I want to do. What you're gonna do is you're gonna click on this, and then you can probably just click the link. I gotta copy this because I gotta use a different account. But anyway, I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna this is my other account that I have, so I can log in. So I'll do paste, and it's gonna come up to this page here. Now it used to show you the code immediately out the gate. Now they've got it in this input and output format. But if you want to just edit the code, what you need to do is click this fork button right here. So I'm going to click on fork, and it takes you straight to the code that we're working on. So this is the stuff that we are doing today. Let me make a couple changes here so we can go over this stuff. So I'm going to change mine to the dark theme here, and here we go. And I'll do a full screen. Awesome. Alright, let's get started working on this stuff. I'll put the video in here at the link. And we're just going to be going over if, elif, and else conditional statements. And this is going to help you get ready to do the challenge that's in the folder for this week. It says this review can help you solve the Go.challenge conditional statements. And then, oh, I need to put this, there should be another one, whatever. All right, so let's start off by looking at an if statement and seeing how it works. So we'll say x is equal to, and I'm going to, let's start off with a string, Sam. All right, or you know what, I'm going to do name is equal to Sam. Okay, so now I've created a variable. With the name Sam, variable with the string Sam in it. Okay, that's good. Now we're gonna make a really simple if statement. We'll just say if name is equal to Sam, print hi Sam. Alright, so now when this code runs, it's going to set that variable to Sam, and then if name is equal to Sam, it's going to print hi. So it says if name is equal to Sam, print hi. So we'll run this. So it says hi Sam. Okay, so the way you can look at this is you have a piece of information, and you are looking at it and seeing if it meets a certain condition. If the condition is met, then it will run the code. If it's not met, then it's just going to continue on. So this is our condition. And this runs if the condition is met. All right. Not only can you do conditions with like strings and stuff, you can also do conditions with numbers. So I can say x is equal to 15. And then I can say if x is equal to the number 15, print x is, and I'll just print the variable again there. Okay, so here's our condition, and here's what will happen after this condition is met. If the condition is not met, then it will not run, just like the one before. Alright, so let's run this, and it says, hi Sam, x is 15. Another cool thing that we can do with these conditional statements, right here we said something real simple, just checking to see if this is actually equal. You can also do something like this. If x, let's say x is 12. No, let's say y is equal to 12. Now you can say if x is equal to y, run this. So we know that this is not true. X is not equal to y because 15 is not equal to 12. So if we run this, this function does not, or this conditional statement doesn't run. However, you are able to put things like math in here. You could say if x is equal to y plus 3, that would make this statement here true. So y is 12. When you add 3, that'll be 15. So then x would be equal to y plus 3. So it does print out, and it prints out x. So x is 15, and then it says if x is equal to y plus 3, then go ahead and print this out. So we did a little bit of math here in our condition. So we can also use math in our conditions. Okay, another thing that we can do is we want to take a look at this Elif part here. So actually, you know what? Let's do else. So let's erase this part here. I'll comment it out. And we'll keep going. 3 apostrophes. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. All right, let's take a look at another one. So we'll say x is equal to 25 if x is less than 30. I want to print x is less than 30, and then I'm going to say else print x is greater than or equal to 30. All right, so right now our x is 25. So when we run this, it's going to say is x less than 30? If it is, it's going to print out x is less than 30. Otherwise, x must be greater than or equal to 30. The else here, what it does, it's a catch-all. So this is like a catch-all. If all the other conditions above fail, this will run. Okay, so that's good to know. Let's test it out and see if it works. So I'll hit run, and it says x is less than 30. And then if I put x at 35, when I run this, it's going to say x is greater than or equal to 30. So that's useful. If some piece of code in this part here is always gonna run. Whereas if we didn't have this part, if we got rid of our else, we just comment it out. If we run this, x is greater than 35, so this part is not going to play, and it's just going to continue on, and nothing's going to get printed out. And you're kind of going to wonder, did the program even run? Is it working? Well, that's a good part for this else. You can always run some piece of code whether your if statement happens or not. Okay. All right, so there's the else statement. Let's check out the elif statement. Let's see how the elif statement works. We'll say elif x is greater than 31 and x is less than 40. Then I want to print x is between 31 and 40. Alright, so the way I'm writing this is not the best, but I want to show you how this works. Okay, so right now x is 35. This function is going to get, or this condition is not met, so it's going to skip over this one. But x is 35, which is greater than 31, and it is less than 40. So this condition will be met. Now, remember, I told you that this else statement will play if nothing else above it has run. Well, this elif statement has completed, so this else statement will not run at all. So the elif statement is kind of like a in-between. It will let's get rid of this if, and I'll show you what it would look like if it was not an elif, if it was just two ifs. So this condition is not met, and this condition is met, and so it will play this one only, because these two if and else's are connected. Now, if I was to move this one down here, let's do cut, let's do paste. Come on now. Alright, I didn't want to do it. Let's copy, Control C. Good old Control C. Okay. Now, this if and this else are connected together. That means when it checks this one's going to fail, and this one is going to run. Now, when it gets here, this one is also good, so technically this one is also going to run. So now we're getting both of these two statements printed out, because this if and else, they're working together, and this if is totally by itself. If you want to make it where, if you put them all three together again, like this, you want to use an elif if you want it to stop checking. I'm gonna have to devise a better lesson to show you guys this, but it's just a quick example. So now the other time, last time when we printed this out, it printed both lines. This one, it's only going to print the top line. So if I run, or the middle line here, and it did not use the else statement as well. Let's think of another statement that is also true right here. So we could say elif x is equal to 35, print x is 35. Okay. This statement is true, and this statement is true. However, since we are using elif, as soon as it finds one correct one, it will not use anything that comes after. All of these are connected together. As soon as one of these are met in the elifs, it's going to stop checking, and it's going to skip over all of it and go down here. So check it out. This one is true, and this one is true, but it's only going to print one. Run, and it only printed this top one here. Now, if I make this one an if, and this one an if, and this one an else, these two are connected together. This one is true, and this one is true, but it's going to print out two of them. So it says x is between 31 and 40, and x is 35. So that's how the if and else statements work here in this. All right, now let's think about this stuff in relation to our boundaries. So in our game, let's take a look and see what I've got written here, and let's see if we can solve a couple of these. It says, create an example of an if statement that checks to see if x is greater than 500. In the case that x is greater than 500, print out what you would like to do in the asteroid game. Okay. and then it shows an example. Okay, so what we want to do is, let's say x, we're going to make x greater than 500. So x is equal to 501. Technically that's greater than 500. So then we'll say if x is greater than 500, in the asteroid game, we're going to want to move it to the other side of the map. And our boundaries, maybe we should draw our boundaries here. So we'll say our x bound is, let's go from 0 to 500. That would mean the farthest to the left on the x-axis you could go would be 0, and the farthest to the right you could go would be 500. So if x is greater than 500, we want to set our boundary, or we want to set our position of the position of the asteroid to 0. So we'll say if x is greater than 500, we want to print move the asteroid to the left bound. Okay, or left bound. And another way to put that would be move the asteroid to 0 on the x-axis. Okay, the next one says create an example of an if statement that checks to see if x is less than negative 127, and print out an example like before, or make a printout like before. Okay, so we'll say if x is less than negative 127, print, let's say the asteroid is too far to the left. I'm going to make 2 lines here. Print, move the asteroid to the right side of the screen. Excellent. Okay, next one says create an example of an if statement that checks to see if y is greater than 1000. So same kind of deal here. We'll say if y is greater than 1000, print the asteroid is too low. And then I'm going to also put here, remember in Godot, y up, let's see, up is negative y. Okay. And then finally, create an example, or create a simple example of an if statement that checks to see if y is less than negative 438. So we'll say if y is less than negative 400, or 483 actually, 483, print the asteroid has left the screen through the top bound. Print, put the asteroid back at the bottom of this screen. Alright, that's going to be our quick examples for how to do if, else, and elif statements. You can use some of this, you can use this stuff to figure out how to reset the asteroid on the screen, and I will see you guys in the next video.